All right, let's fucking do this. I just broke my microphone. As you can see, watching on YouTube, let me see if I can get the light on my face. The light is bright in my face, but the sun is blessing me from above. So if we turn this way or this way. Whatever, we're doing it. What's up, y'all? It is Monday, July 14th, 2025. It is my last day in Los Angeles. Last night, apparently Sunday, July 13th, I spent my final night in Los Angeles. Or in this casita here. I'm off to Maine tonight, 9 p.m., LAX. To Boston, then driving up to Maine early tomorrow morning. Spend a week with the family and the lady in the great state of Maine. Home of one of my closest friends, brother, Sam Rio. Shout out, Sam. And a lot of good people, met a lot of good people, actually, through Sam, from Maine. Mainers love that they're from Maine, huh? But I can't complain, man. I'm wearing a Georgia or a sweatshirt, as I say this. And I'm always repping the dogs in the great state of Georgia. Big pimple on my face, man. This pimple on my face, dude, when you see a pimple like this on my face, or the remnants of the war I went to on my face, that's a sign of mental illness right there. There's certain things I think that nature tells other people, like socially, that like you're like stressed out or you need help or something. And I think like pimple, acne, when you see people that have yellow eyes, like jaundiced eyes, that's clearly a sign that like help me. Even I think your eyes are bloodshot when you're high, I think that's maybe a sign from nature to tell others that like you're in a different state of consciousness. Anyway, man, I had this little bump in my face, and I knew it's one of those ones like it's not ready to pop, quit touching it, and of course, throughout the day, next couple of days, just picking at it, and tearing this thing apart. Anyway, good pimple talk. Yeah, man, weird place in life, man. It's exciting, but it's sad at the same time. Weird. This house is totally empty. I've spent the past 3 days just emptying out this house, throwing away stuff, packing up my bags, packing up the car. As soon as I fly back from Maine to LA, I'll spend like it's going to be another red eye-ish type flight. So maybe spend a day back here, saying goodbye to people and whatnot, and then heading off, driving up to Portland. Should be like a 2-day venture driving up there. And I'm just trying to stay peasant, kind of peasant. Fucking look at me right now. Present with everything. Because everything's uncertain, man. I'm in this very kind of new but intense relationship. I'm going to meet my family now, and every test seems like it's still a place where everything is exciting, but it still feels like the relationship could fall apart at any second, right? With like the wrong comment or like wrong argument or something. And certainly like throwing her into the fire, meeting my entire family on a vacation like us staying Airbnb together will be like a trial by fire of the relationship. So I think if you were to ask me right now, I think I'm coming back to LA by the end of the year to be with this girl. But who knows, man? I have a history of not exactly being the most mature boyfriend. So I'm working on it. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what the future brings us. Yeah. All this kind of setting in right now, the not gravity of the situation, but the plasticity or the malleability of reality. Some people are kind of like determinists or fatalists, like kind of everything's written in stone, even by like your genetics almost. I don't really believe in that. I think a lot of life is determined by free will and human action, individual action. So I'm at a point in life right now where it's like totally kind of could go anywhere, which is cool and exciting. But uncertainty also brings about anxiety, but I feel like I'm doing a good job of managing that anxiety because, stay in the present moment. Thinking about the future brings you anxiety. Thinking about the past brings you depression oftentimes. So it's like past depression, future anxiety. Stay in the present moment. But man, it's been weird not having the girls here the past couple of weeks. All I've been doing is training, jiu-jitsu, and kickboxing, hanging out with the lady, and then packing stuff up. It's weird how when the less responsibilities you have, like it seems like the less time you have. I've had nothing, very chill. The past 5 years, you could argue, been very chill as far as like my daily task responsibility and time management. But the last 2 weeks have been ridiculously chill. Very much go at my own pace, but like it having external pressures forces you to become more organized and efficient. So I miss it. You miss I miss having responsibilities and things to do. And I certainly miss those girls. And so I'm excited all around. I'm excited to go on vacation with my girlfriend. Excited to see my family. Excited to see these girls up in Oregon. Excited to see their new home. And then excited for what the future brings, man. Potentially like moving back and starting a serious relationship, or kind of resetting things and fresh start out up in Oregon. I don't think I've kind of agreed with Lucas and Sue that, at least tentatively, that I'm not going to stay being the girls' nanny forever, but I could potentially stay in Portland for, I don't know, a year, maybe more. I don't know. But if those girls are the number one priority in my life, this new relationship is obviously becoming a major priority, but those girls are still my primary responsibility and priority in my existence, aside from my own personal development. So we shall see. September 20th, Portland Open, IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu tournament. That's like the one certain thing on the radar right now. It's like a goal and thing I'm striving towards, and like a checkpoint marker that I know will certainly be important from probably looking like the last week of July until that last week in September. So I got 2 months of training to prepare for that tournament. I need to get up in Portland, find a gym. My last day of training here in LA was Friday at Legacy in Burbank, and today's Monday, and I was thinking maybe I could get everything packed up and into the gym today for a normal day of training, but I didn't. So Friday just kind of, I guess, was my last day of training there, almost inadvertently. I didn't always say goodbye, so I got to send out texts and emails and goodbyes to people. I'm massaging my tailbone right now. I have like this like muscular adhesion or soft tissue adhesion on my tailbone. I'm massaging right now on the ground on this beanbag, just by subtly moving my butt back and forth. Anyway, my last day of training at the gym, and didn't say goodbye to anyone, or like, I don't know. Potentially my last day of training ever at Legacy, potentially, which is crazy to think. That's my home for the past 2.5 years. 2 years, certainly. Second home. So get up to Portland, get established at a new gym, and start training away and staying focused on that every day, present moment, just getting better at jiu-jitsu and not really worrying about the medium or long term. Really just worrying about the short term, day to day, how each day is going, enjoying my time with JoJo and him, making the most of my training, getting to know Portland, enjoying potentially my last few months living with those girls, and then do my best to win that tournament. And we'll take it from there as far as staying or going in the Pacific Northwest. Interesting. Longest I've ever lived anywhere aside from where I grew up, Roswell, Georgia. Born in Monroe, Louisiana, lived there for the first 6 months of my life, moved to Roswell, Georgia, lived there all from age 0 or 6 months through graduation from high school. University of South Carolina 1 year, University of Georgia 2.5. University of Louisiana Monroe, 1 semester. Phoenix, 3 years. Honduras, 1 year. Costa Rica / traveling, 1 year. Back to Phoenix, 1 year. Atlanta, 1 year. DC, 1 year. Traveling, 1 year. Back to DC, 6 months. LA, 5.5 years. So, yeah, it's become my home, man. It's crazy to say that, but it's the longest I've ever lived anywhere voluntarily. So, yeah, it's my home. It's my second home. It is what it is. And I don't know if I'll be back. I guess that's kind of weird to say because I just assume I will be back. Tears are going to come to my eyes. Just like assuming I will be back. But, there's a world where I have an hour and 40 minutes basically left in LA. I guess I'll be back. I'll have to fly back through here and spend another night here. But that's crazy to think. It actually makes sense in kind of my life trajectory. I've lived in, the southeast, southwest. DC's kind of northeast-ish. And I've spent time in the northeast. Never, my sister lives in the Midwest, Chicago. Spent a lot of time there. Pacific Northwest, I've never lived there. My uncle used to live in Seattle. So it would make sense, but we shall see, brothers and sisters. Politics, man. I got nothing to say right now about anything. I don't, as far as I'm not following it, man. I'll be caught up. I don't know. I think I can't see myself leaving this earth without running for political office, I guess. I guess I can, right? Because I don't really believe in government, so I don't have to be a part of it to, affect the change or play the role I want to. In fact, I very much morally and kind of philosophically believe being as not a part of it as political as possible is maybe the best idea. But perhaps most impactful, widespread change would be getting involved. So, I don't know. I'm still playing with that, but I'm not following anything, man. I'm not following anything. I think lately I've started to feel more grateful for a liberal state like California as opposed to talking shit about the high taxes and wokeism and homelessness and government spending and welfare state, nanny state. After going back home to Roswell, to Atlanta, man, I forgot how many fucking cops there are in the South. They're everywhere, and speed traps and that kind of bullshit. Law enforcement not playing the role it should in society. You see that a lot. I mean, in suburban Atlanta, you see that a lot, man. Cops everywhere, pulling people over for, not coming to a complete stop at a stop sign or going through yellow lights or being 15 miles over the speed limit or just bullshit. And it's something I really do appreciate about LA is the cops leave you alone, man. They really do. You pretty much drive whatever speed you want. It's kind of on the roads. It's frustrating. It's kind of there's no rules. It's not even unwritten rules. But the cops leave you alone. And you don't even see cops, really, man. You hear them. You see them when they're yeah, I think there's just a lot of real actual crime going down in LA that, the cops don't have time to pull people over for fucking speeding tickets, which I appreciate. And you can smoke weed, which I really appreciate, man. It's ridiculous to go back home to Georgia and not be able to smoke weed legally. That's crazy. That's fucking insane. So I don't know. I feel more grateful for it now, looking at it from a different way. Okay, California, man, it's expensive to live here, but you get the best weather as far as a single state is concerned, best overall geographic and natural diversity. Obviously, culturally and economically, access anything, right? California's would be a sick country by itself. So, yeah, I feel grateful for it. and starting to feel more and more like it's my home. But hopefully go home for Thanksgiving, and I don't know. I don't know. The next time I'm really going to be in Georgia for an extended period of time. Thanksgiving is going to be a fairly short trip, I envision, but we'll see, man. Anyway, enough on politics. Haven't listened to Rogan since the last episode. I'm still on this Eric Weinstein, Terrence Howard episode. I haven't listened to it just because I've been trying to catch up on sports. I think last week I said I'm a month behind on sports. Now I think I'm about 2 weeks behind on sports. So let's just list sports from the top as far as like my priority in sports. MMA, obviously. I'm currently literally today watching UFC 317, UFC 316 with Sean O'Malley versus Rob Dvalishvili, and Rob Dvalishvili got the bantamweight title. Now I'm at UFC 317, which is Ilia Topuria versus motherfucking Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title. Ilia Topuria gave up the featherweight to move up to lightweight. Islam Makhachev dropped lightweight to move up to welterweight. So that's 145, 155, 170. Dude, this dude Ilia Topuria is... I haven't seen charisma and swagger and it factor with anyone like that since Conor McGregor. And I know how... I haven't seen the fight, but I know how it ends. Try to get this light on my face. Fucking hour into this fucking podcast. Is that better? I know how this fight ends. So that is better, actually. I broke this microphone, by the way, but I think I like it better because I can just hold it in my hand. You guys give me a better view of this fucking pimple, like growth on my face. I know Topuria wins. I'm pretty sure he wins by knockout. I just overheard people talking about it at the gym. Dude, this dude, like, does... A lot of people do, like, manifestation. A lot of fighters do manifestation and visualization shit, but this dude goes, like, next level. He had, like, a celebration dinner the night before the fight, like, celebrating his victory. The night before the fight. Which is, like, major karma game you're playing there. But I think the dude's kind of operating in that another dimension that we're talking about. I think he's accessing it a little bit. These guys get to this level, man, where they start like calling their shots and almost predicting the future. It's very interesting, these guys. It's almost magical the way they operate. God damn, that's a bad angle, fellas. Oh! Oh, well, now I can have this fucking... Yeah, fuck. I can have this mic anywhere now. Fuck the mic stand. We're free. A better angle. Ridiculous. Sometimes I think I'm good looking. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, what the fuck? Crazy, man. I see how I operate in, like, the levels. I know, I don't want to get into that, actually. Yikes. Sometimes I say too much. It's a little better. So, yeah, dude. John motherfucking Jones. John Jones. Arguably the greatest UFC fighter of all time. When I initially started watching MMA, this guy was my favorite fighter. Dominant. Just like on an athletic level that was so far and beyond everyone else. I guess it was around like 2010. Light heavyweight champion, 205 pounds. He's never lost. But he has become, as I've become an actual MMA fan, like a hardcore fan who understands the sport and the history of the game and shit like that, he has become my least favorite fighter. He's gone from my favorite fighter to my least favorite fighter. The guy's a fucking sociopath, I think. He's constantly in trouble with the law, doing shit that's like negligent to other humans. Like hit and runs of like pregnant people while you're drunk. The latest one was like drunk and on mushrooms, car accident with some lady with her pants off in the driver's seat, and he just runs away from the accident. Second time he's run away from an accident involving a woman. an innocent woman. This woman pants off in the passenger seat in his car. The other first accident was a pregnant woman. In the other car that he hit, this one was a woman in his car who had no pants on, so it's like no one's really sure what's going on there. This guy sucks, man. I mean, he's an obviously incredible fighter, but he's just not a good person. So yeah, he has been ducking Tom Aspinall, who's the UFC heavyweight champion, for years now. Y'all, this video aspect of this podcast, I'm giving just a look inside my head. I keep trying to move the camera because the light, but then I see myself in the camera and I look horrible. So like, I think it's better if the light just like blocks me. You can't see my face, I guess, but Jesus, I think it's better for everybody. John Jones has been ducking Tom Aspinall, who is this English fighter who's just incredibly talented dude. And for, I guess, like what, over a year now, he's been ducking this guy. So avoiding the fight, asking for more money, delaying the fight, and then eventually, I guess, retires based on this most recent running with the law / no one know, like, the incident happened in February. He just retired like in June, so it's whether or not the retirement is connected or not. But the most recent legal incident just got out. So anyway, it's a mess. The guy's a mess. That's a cracking. That's the biggest news in MMA right now. UFC 318 coming up next week is Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. In New Orleans for the BMF title. Let me go through real quick, just if I can, off the top of my head. At 125, you've got the champion. Oh, actually, at the UFC 317, Alessandro Pantoja, Brazil, Kai Kara France of New Zealand. They're fighting on UFC 317 as well in the co-main event underneath Topuria and Charles Oliveira for the flyweight title. At bantamweight 135, that is Merab Dvalishvili, who just defeated Sean O'Malley. At featherweight, you have Volkanovski. That's 145. Beat Diego Lopez. That was at 314. UFC 314. At lightweight, that's Topuria is going to be Oliveira in the fight I'm watching right now, UFC 317. At 170, you've got... Wait. Is Makhachev the champ at 170, or is he fighting? Makhachev is moving up to fight the 170 champ, who is, top of my head, this is embarrassing, welterweight champion is not Gary. Welterweight's stacked. You've got Gary. You've got Michael Morales. You've got Joaquin Buckley. You've got Bilal Muhammad, who just lost to Jack Del Malalena, is the welterweight champ. That's right. That was UFC 313 or 14. I don't remember. 14 maybe. Okay, 185, you got Dricus du Plessis of South Africa. 205, you've got Magomed Ankalaev, who beat Poatan Alex Pereira. Heavyweight, we just discussed, was John Jones, who just vacated because he's a fucking sociopath, to Tom Aspinall, and they haven't scheduled Tom Aspinall for his next fight. Dude, if they could re-sign it's so funny, dude, because the UFC had Francis Ngannou, who's the lineal heavyweight champ, by the way. Was the heavyweight champ of the UFC. That was the last mega fight that John Jones was supposed to engage in, was with Francis Ngannou. He ducked that fight as well, John Jones. Francis leaves the UFC, signs with the PFL and boxing. Francis is the exact opposite of John Jones. The guy was born in, Senegal? Like, literally walks across fucking Africa to make his way to Morocco, to cross the fucking ocean and like a makeshift raft into Spain. All of this is like an incredible fucking journey of like failed attempts, years in the making. It's like an epic tale. Just the epic tale, just the get from Senegal to Europe. makes it from Spain, somehow from Spain to France. Is homeless, living in a parking garage, wants to become a professional boxer. Goes and finds a gym in Paris as a homeless guy living in a parking garage. The boxing coaches at a gym in Paris turn him on the MMA. Before you know it, this fucking guy's the UFC heavyweight champion of the world within like 5 years or some shit. Insane story. Not to mention he's had some tragic shit happen to him since he's gained fame and fortune. The only guy to like really stick it to the UFC from a free agency standpoint. The only guy to like beat the game from that like contractual standpoint. Just a stand-up, solid dude. The opposite of John Jones. Man, I would love to see Francis Ngannou separate John Jones from consciousness. That'd be fucking incredible. The UFC could salvage this entire fucking heavyweight mess by re-signing Francis Ngannou and having him fight Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight championship. I would favor heavily Tom Aspinall. He's way younger and overall, I think, a way more skilled fighter. But it would be a mega fight. The mega fight still, although now there's no belt involved, would be John Jones, Francis Ngannou. Without a belt, that would still be a mega fight. So maybe after John Jones gets arrested 7 more times, he'll need the money and come back for it. Anyway, I don't think Dana, for whatever reason, doesn't like Francis. I don't understand that because he fucking carries water for John Jones all day, and John Jones is a fucking piece of shit. I think John Jones must have dirt on Dana or the UFC or something, some kind of like Epstein shit. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense why Dana has been so patient and tolerant with John Jones for so long. He's been such a headache. Anyway, that's UFC. I'll grab some water real quick because I want to run to actually some more sports for the next 30 minutes or so. Just chilling on the ground and holding the mic. I got more energy than standing up. Although I'm fucking tired recently, man. All right. Let's just go through some sports and then we'll wrap this shit up. It's going to be a lot of sports for the rest of the year on the Alex Youngblood podcast. All right, so that's number one sport, MMA. Oh, real quick, women. Women strawweight champ is Zhang Weili out of China. Featherweight champ is flyweight champ is Valentina Shevchenko, of course. Out of Kyrgyzstan, I believe. Bantamweight champ is recently Kayla Harrison, who just defeated Joanna Pena, also on the Murabdova-Valishvili card, UFC 314. Whatever it is. Fuck numbers. And Kayla Harrison, of course, will rematch or face off with Amanda Nunes to TBD or to be determined date. And that's going to be one of the biggest fights in women's MMA history. Women's MMA, it has 2 mega fights hopefully going down this year. Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison for bantamweight, and Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. I guess it's Zhang moving up from straw to flyweight. Those are huge fights in women's MMA. Never press record on my phone. Sick. Hopefully all is getting done on laptop. NFL, man. Seahawks, this is like very dead season. NFL, we're early July? 2 weeks into July. Training camp's going to start in a week or two. I plan on heading up to I want to check out the Seahawks training camp and the first home game of the season while I'm up in Portland. Dude, I got high hopes for the Seahawks. I have very high hopes for the Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold, I went off on this a little bit last week, but I think Darnold's a great addition. If Cooper Kupp can stay healthy, that's the biggest if for me is Cooper Kupp staying healthy. Dude, if Cooper Kupp stay healthy, I'm confident in the offense. The offensive line has improved. This still seems a little shaky to me, the offensive line. I'm concerned, but it's definitely improved over last year. I have faith in Clint Kubiak. as the offensive coordinator. Not that I fucking know anything about his scheme or anything, but it just seems like a solid guy, and everything I've listened to about him is like respected, established offensive scheme. Defense is going to be on point. Adding DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be a huge upgrade as far as pass rush is concerned. They just signed Shaquille Griffin to shore up the cornerback depth. Who's the other defensive addition? Obviously, Nicky Manwari, the second-round pick out of South Carolina at safety. Anybody significant upgrades at linebacker? No, but Coach Mark, our Lord and Savior, has the defense on lock regardless. You could give him 11 middle scores, and he'd finish middle of the pack in the NFL. As far as defensive rating is concerned. So as long as the offense keeps their shit together, K9 can stay healthy and they can pound the rock. I'm looking forward to it. I guess the Rams is the big competition in the division. I'm not particularly concerned by the Niners and the Cardinals. NFL will be up and popping. Training camp by the end of July. I don't really have anything else to say about NFL. Not big news. It's like total dead season. NFL, college football too. Of course, I have nothing to say about college football. I don't know what's going on. They practice right now. I don't know. NBA. No. Okay. Let's re-rank my sports. Dude, NBA, you're fucking out. I mean, not out, but like you're down the list. You're getting replaced by hockey and soccer. I'm back in on soccer. I'm learning hockey and I'm in on soccer. I'm a sports guy. I'm back to being a sports guy. Fuck it. Fuck being an adult. I'm a sports guy. Hockey and soccer. Yo, NHL ice hockey is badass. I didn't grow up around it. I don't have a team. I guess LA's my second home, so I'm a Kings guy. The Kraken of Seattle. I'm starting to pay attention to NHL. The Florida Panthers won the cup. I love that because they beat a Canada team. Canada's like big government, communism, lefties, high taxes, and Florida is like the most free anti-government state in the union. No state tax, which has got to be a huge advantage to signing free agents in hockey. I mean, what's the fucking income tax in Canada versus Florida? So you have a $10 million contract, let's say. How much tax are you paying? How much are you saving playing for the Florida Panthers or the Dallas Stars in Florida, Texas, Washington State, Nevada, Tennessee versus Canada, or really any state in the United States? I don't know how, in general, the average state income tax compares to Canada income tax and how it works in Canada. You have to pay province tax and country tax. Like, how's that shit work? Fuck income tax, dude. Income tax is evil shit, man. It's mafia shit, and we should all stop paying it. And income tax needs to fucking go away. I should talk about that every episode. Fuck income tax. It needs to go. That's why I want to get involved in politics, because there's certain shit that happens like that where I'm like, man, someone needs to stand up against this shit. The government should not be taking your money that you earn. That's mafia shit. Anyway, very happy to see the Florida Panthers win the cup for that reason. I'll be more tuned into the NHL. I'm not going to be like watching regular season NHL games next season, but dude, it's a cool sport. It's a rough sport. It's a tough sport. Those guys are badass. They play 82 games. Fighting is totally legal. Dude, it's badass. It's a very cool sport. So much more entertaining than basketball. And guess what? The reason I'm fucking dropping NBA down my favorite teams list is because the NBA is fucking rigged. The NBA is fucking rigged. Look, we know for a fact the NBA had a fixing games problem with like the mafia and the referees. And they try to say it's isolated to one guy, Tim Donaghy, but that's fucking horseshit. We all know it's horseshit. So we know objectively there's history of issues there. Secondly, there's history of conspiracies around the NBA draft lottery as far as like getting certain teams the number one pick. Patrick Ewing and the frozen envelope with the New York Knicks. There's other examples. This whole Luka Doncic, Dallas Mavericks getting the number one pick situation is horseshit. Dude, it's fucking rigged. That's so ridiculous. That they trade Luka for nothing and then they have a 1% chance of getting the number one overall pick. They get the number one overall pick. Fucking ridiculous. And it's also convoluted. Just do ping pong balls out in front of everybody so we can see it. And what's all this fucking like Ernst & Young consulting firm, private security? It just makes it seem more suspicious. And they do the NBA draft like like the day after the finals is like super rushed on a Wednesday night or some shit. It's like, why aren't you making like a big deal out of this draft? To me, like they're keeping a hush, sweep this draft under the rug. It's all very convoluted with the trades. There's so many trades in the NBA draft. You don't know who's getting, like the guys are getting drafted by teams with the like they're not wearing the hat of the team that drafted them because every trade picks get drafted. It seems like this big like almost like money laundering scheme of the trades or the like draft pick compensation. It's I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not saying like every single game is determined, but I definitely think the league rigs certain major factors for like for money reasons, for ratings reasons, to generate the most income. They want a Luka in a big market. They know LeBron's going to be out of LA soon. You put Luka in LA to salvage that market, the Los Angeles market, their biggest market. You have New York locked up. New York's got a good team. The compensation for Dallas on the back end to agree doing that is getting the number one overall pick. Yeah, man. Anyway, for that reason, and there's so many fucking fouls in the NBA. It's so slow. The players have totally taken over the league. They have too much leverage as far as like the business of the league is concerned, in my opinion. And I'll never forgive the league for all that woke shit, the COVID bubble, fucking putting everyone in a fucking bubble, woke ass, fucking like slogans on the court and the jersey. That was some fucking nonsense. That was some like brainwashing nonsense. So I love basketball. I love playing basketball. It's a very American game. I respect the game. I do enjoy it when it's at its highest level, but I don't know. I'm a little out on the NBA. Dude, my fucking. So, but they just had their draft. Here's the thing, though, with the NBA, man. What's going to get me back in? Dude, the Hawks have a chance to make a run at the Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum's out for the Celtics. Tyrese Halliburton's out for the Pacers. Dame Lillard's out for the Bucks. All with torn Achilles, all in the playoffs. Speaking of conspiracies, what the fuck's going on there? So the Hawks are like right in the mix. What do? They fleeced the Hornets during the draft, getting an unprotected 2026 pick from the Hornets, and I think making another signing or something. I think they made a trade. Anyway, the Hawks are gonna make a run in the Eastern Conference. That's my NBA talk. Fuck the NBA. But I'll be back. I'll be back for the playoffs next year for sure. I'll probably be checking out the Hawks thing in the regular season. I'm not gonna lie. Dude. Okay, so I started watching soccer again because they have this Club World Cup and the Gold Cup. Club World Cup is like this World Cup style event with all the club teams internationally. So I'm checking on that. Watching the first few rounds of the group stages. I don't know anything about these club teams, but that seems interesting to me. I can never buy it on like Premier League or Serie A or like pick a league, a European league or MLS and follow it. That's just too much. But I'm down to watch international soccer. I've always been into the World Cup. I kind of check in for like the international regional cups, like for the U.S., like Copa America, the Gold Cup, these like America, Western Hemisphere cups. Club soccer, I've always struggled to buy in on, even like Champions League, but this Club World Cup idea where they're expanding to like 32 of the best club teams, but I guess it's not the 32 best club teams. It's 32 club teams, the best clubs from each region, right? So obviously Europe is going to dominate, right? But it's interesting. It's cool. So I'm checking on that. Well, man, it's a little too much. And it's like I've been doing that for like a month now, just watching sports, not really stimulating my mind much with anything, even like Rogan or anything, documentaries. And kind of numbs your mind, man. I don't know, speaking of conspiracies, I don't know if sports are designed to like distract us from things like income tax and fucking the military-industrial complex and COVID vaccines and like all kinds of shit. Are we all just like little peons in the matrix, like getting addicted to sports and Netflix while the government like drains us of our life energy and resources? Corporations. I don't know, maybe. But it's entertaining shit. And as long as I'm active and move my body and participating in sports of my own, then at least I can justify it. Because at least it's like, listen, I have one life to live. At least I'm keeping my body healthy and like enjoying my time, my constantly in my day. But I do want to have a broader impact on society. But I do my job to the best of my ability. I train to the best of my ability, and I just get obsessed with things I'm passionate about, like sports. But you know, I think I go back to this every time I have this like verbal cognitive dissonance out loud every episode about like maybe it'd be better to spend my time getting obsessed with fucking quantum physics or something. I don't know. That's NFL, MMA, NFL, NHL, new edition, NBA, boo, and motherfucking soccer now. USA Soccer, I mean, dude, I've been hearing since I was a kid when I played soccer religiously in the 90s that USA Soccer is going to be something. Next World Cup cycle, 2 World Cup cycles. It's the same shit, dude. Like, USA Soccer has basically been at the level of, like, on the verge of getting out of the group stage, making it to the knockout stage of the World Cup, not far beyond that. It's, like, right there in just totally average zone, man. So, I don't know. I'm watching the Gold Cup now. I know it's already happened. I'm watching the Club World Cup now. I know it's already happened. Like I said, I'm about 2 weeks behind sports. I'll get all caught up within the next 2 weeks. And I'll get back on Rogan and follow and get caught up on world events as well within the next year. It's going to take me about a year to get caught up on world events. And, man, once I get obsessed with that shit, this podcast might take a weird turn. But we'll see, man. I'll keep you updated next week. Thinking about just leaving the podcast equipment right here. Fly in. Like a week from today, Monday night. From Boston to LA, and I'll record another one. Let y'all know how the main trip went, hopefully swimmingly. And then it'll be time to pack it up officially in LA and drive up to Portland. I love you all. Be good. Yeah. What did Josh Allen say? Like, do good, be good, go Bills. Do good, be good, go planet Earth. Peace. Love you.